I am Wendy Hall, a health educator here at the Medina County Health Department.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm also a health educator here at the health department.
Vape waste is an overlooked environmental issue. Used vapes usually get tossed in the trash without realizing the long-term effects on our environment. And we wanted to work with a group of young people to spread awareness of the impacts that vapes have on our environment. So we thought working with a scout troop would be a perfect match.
The project kind of fell right in line with scouting principles by teaching the scouts the hazards of vaping and the hazards to their personal health on vaping, and then the hazards of the vaping products to the environment and environmental issues. It's something that we as scouters all care about, personal health and the health of the environment.
Beyond just the physical health effects of vaping on the lungs and on the body and nicotine addiction, we also know that vaping has a toll on our environment. So part of that toll is the lithium ion batteries that are found in vapes can be very explosive and cause fires. Beyond that, vapes are also a single-use plastic, right? That ends up in landfills and again is not biodegradable. And we know that the chemicals inside of the e-liquids often have nicotine, and we see that lead and cobalt and some other nasty chemicals end up leaching into the soil and can be toxic. Some important statistics here: about 4.5 vapes are thrown away every single second in the United States, which ends up being 388,000 a day. And worldwide, that tallies up to be over 1 billion in a year. So it's a lot of waste that we're seeing.
We wanted the project to be youth-led. We wanted the scouts to take what they learned about the impacts of vaping, focusing on the environmental impact, and decide what they felt would be the best way to share this information with our community. So after some brainstorming, they came up with 4 great projects to pursue.
Besides just the learning about hazards of vaping and the hazards to the community with the vaping products, it was great to see the scouts be able to work together in different teams to try to vote on and figure out different the way forward and what they wanted to do to make the project successful. There was a lot of different ideas. They voted on which ideas they thought were the best, and then they moved forward with the 4 ideas they thought, in their opinion, were the best, and they held to it.
One of the first things we did was letters to our state representatives. This was an idea the scouts had. They even knew the names of some of our state representatives. They also wanted to include the EPA as well as local news media. They had some great ideas, and we wrote those down word for word, then put together these letters. The boys signed their names, and we had them added to the letters. Some of the older scouts took the responsibility of proofreading the letters and getting them into the mail off to our representatives, the EPA, and local media. They were very successful. We had responses from the local EPA as well as the state EPA, and the Attorney General also replied back thanking the boys for their work and continued advocacy.
Our second project with Troop 511 was to make educational posters for them to put in the schools. So after doing all of our education, we took some of those important statistics that we mentioned earlier about vaping and its impact on the environment, and the boys turned them into posters to educate their peers. At the end, we had 12 posters that they then took to hang up in the schools. For the next phase of the project, the scouts wanted to do a park cleanup day. So we partnered with Medina County Park District to pick a park that could use a great cleanup day in our community. And we were instructed that Brunswick Lake Park would be a great place to start. So we had about 30 boys from Troop 511 that came to help pick up about 8 bags of trash over the course of around 2 hours.
The final phase of the project was to advocate at a local community event, and the boys chose Hinckley's Buzzard Day to have a table display as well as talk to people walking by about what they've learned, share information about the vape waste and its impact on our environment, as well as ask people to sign a pledge to be vape-free. In the process, they heard stories from community members finding tobacco and vape product just thrown in their yards, and overall, they had about 150 signatures on a poster of people pledging to be vape-free.
I thought the partnership was a great partnership, very beneficial. The Medina County Health Department was able to bring the educational tools to the scouts to help educate them on the different dangers of the vapor, or the vaping, and the vaping products, to enable them to be able to make decisions on how they wanted to do their community outreach. Once they had that knowledge, then they were able to make the decisions as to how they wanted to reach out to the community.
I feel our partnership with the Scouts was a perfect match. The Scouts were able to work with us to help spread awareness, and in turn, they learned an important lesson about public health and the impact of vape waste. In addition, the project helps strengthen youth advocacy and youth leadership in our county.
Positive impacts, absolutely. Positive impacts on the Scouts. They got to learn how to write letters to representatives, which was their idea, I think, from anybody. They got to, it was a positive impact for the community. We did a park cleanup at Brunswick Lake, and that was all positive for the community. We picked up like 8-9 trash bags full of just junk and garbage. The posters that they were able to set up into the middle school, again, positive thing for the environments. Their peers learned what they learned on the hazards to the community and to the environment. Then just the outreach at the Hinckley Buzzard Day, we had our scouts going around to both adults and to their peers, getting them to make promises and sign promises in their poster boards, giving people not vape. So I think it was positive all the way around. Plus the kids had a lot of fun doing it too.
Boy Scout Troop 511 was really fun to work with. They were enthusiastic. They were phenomenal at advocating about this particular issue and had some really creative and innovative solutions that they were able to bring to us and to their community. And we're really grateful for this opportunity to work with them. And we hope that we are able to use the momentum from this project to take advantage of any other wonderful opportunities that come our way as a result.
The entire project that they did, it all came from them. We may have steered them in the direction, but they came up with the poster idea. They came up with writing letters to the representatives. They figured out who the representatives were that they were supposed to write to. I think they also suggested writing to the EPA as well. They hung the posters. They called the principals to be able to get them hung. They mailed the letters out. They just kind of, when they needed the help from the adults, we were able to step in and give them help. But the key thing is that the Scouts did this on their own. I mean, we were just there to make sure they were on the right track and weren't doing anything illegal or anything too crazy. But then in the end, just watching them take ownership of what they developed and what they created, I think was really cool. And so I felt that it was a great learning experience just all the way around for all the Scouts, from the youngest Scouts who were 11, 12 years old, all the way up to the 17-year-olds. It was a great combination of Scouts and their leadership.
Young people are powerful advocates for change, and we hope to continue to build our partnerships with other Scout troops, as well as other youth groups here in Medina County. Thank you, Troop 511. It was great working with you.